What is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the 36th episode of another Sports Talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Michael. John should be here in a little bit. We will be talking some wrestling. Because this weekend is SummerSlam. But hey, what's going on in any other, sports and stuff? Pretty interesting. The I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry about that. I mean, basketball. LeBron James signs with the Philadelphia 76ers, and he signs for 2 years. Very interesting that he signs for 2 years. I didn't, I didn't expect him to. I didn't expect him to sign for 2 years. I'm not going to say I'm shocked that he signed with Philadelphia. I mean, when you look at the move Philadelphia made, in acquiring Brown from the Celtics, you look at him. You look at, Maxey. You look at Embiid. I mean, it makes sense. At Boston, I think Boston, not going to Boston was more of a, hey, I played for the Lakers. I'm not going to Boston. That's the only thing I can think of, from that standpoint. Supposedly, there are some rumors out there that he wanted to come to New York and play for the Knicks, and the Knicks gave him we're good, thanks a lot. When you had your chance, you didn't, so sorry, pal. There's also talks that Giannis didn't want him going to Miami, but I was very surprised. I really expected him to go to Cleveland. I figured if he's signing his last contract, why would he not want to go back to Cleveland? And, maybe he thought, if I go to, what's up, Kenneth? How you doing? Hope you're doing well, sir. Maybe didn't want to go to Cleveland because maybe he was afraid of the pressure, of all the pressure that would have been put on him if he went back home to Cleveland. In the limelight of his career, to the expectations of him, being the one to get Cleveland another title. I mean, I guess I look at it both ways. I guess it makes sense that he. It makes emotional sense that I would go. It didn't make a lot of sense for him to go, because of that. Now, why Philadelphia? I don't know. I mean, do we think they have a great shot? When Embiid gets hurt again and is out for 40 games or so, what happens? Because when Joel's going to be healthy, let's face it, LeBron has to be the fourth option. And I think you look at every team he has been on, he's never been the fourth option. I don't think he's ever been the third option. So how he handles that is going to be very interesting. But hey, if he can, if he's not worrying about points, if he's focusing on, rebounding and assists and maybe some defense, I can go ahead and see it working out. I really can. Now, what does it working out look like? I don't know. A lot's going to be dependent on, Embiid's health, because if Embiid goes down, I don't think Maxey, Brown, and LeBron. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if that is a big enough three to go ahead and compete, for a title. I mean, you're going to make the playoffs. I mean, you know, I doubt they're going to be, the what, the seventh or the eighth, ninth or 10th seed, right? Would have to go in the play in. I can't see that happening. Um, but you never can tell, but I'm surprised. Again, Cleveland was my first choice. And then honestly, if I thought he was really doing it just for rings, I mean, would you not have at least called San Antonio, called Oklahoma City and say, hey, do you have any room? I'll gladly come there. I think it would have been a bad move for either one of those teams to add that player. When when you look at it, because all of a sudden now, it's going to be looked at different, but we'll see. We really will see. I'm sure again, now we'll start to see supposedly KCP, um, you know, uh, you know, uh, Contavious Caldwell Pope. He's supposed to get bought out, I should say, by the Grizzlies, and he'll go ahead and probably, join the 76ers on some, uh, you know, vendor minimum deal or something, along those lines. The other thing in basketball, Draymond Green's going back to the Warriors. I don't think that's a big surprise to anybody. I mean, I would think everybody would have thought that he would have been going back there. And they're still doing this whole Kawhi Leonard Clippers thing, and with the contract and so on and so forth. So that's going to be interesting to see, see what happens there. Um, NHL news. I mean, not a whole bunch. I mean, there's really, um, not a lot going on there. I mean, although Macklin Celebrini, the young guy, the young star from San Jose, signed a 5-year, $94 million contract, $18.8 million average value on the extension, which runs through the 31-32 season. So it begins 27-28. So 26-27, don't have to worry about it. Doesn't start, say that, but he'll wind up becoming the highest NHL player. Very interesting. From a hobby news, his Young Guns Gold, one of one, I think it was Gold Outburst, or Sunburst, one of one card was finally pulled. And it's actually, I believe, I'm, I think the auction has already started, but I believe it's going on Golden Auctions. And it's going to be interesting to see. There was a bounty out for that card for 250,000. Now, I believe that was Canadian. So obviously, an American guy wound up pulling it. Um, so that would have been about 180,000 US. But he went ahead and it was slabbed and authenticated by PSA. It went to Golden. Golden took it to PSA, got it slabbed and authenticated, and now it's going to go up for auction. And who knows, you know, what it could go for. It's going to be very interesting to see. There are some people. What's up, Sean? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for being here. Much appreciated. Um, you know, some people think, I mean, obviously, look, you don't know, right? If you need what you need, like with any auction, you need 2 to 3 people who fall in love and say, I want that card and will do whatever it takes. Some people think $400,000 card, but you never know. If somebody really wants it, if 2 people really, really want it, they might be willing to go ahead and, go up to 6, 7, 800,000, which is crazy. So, we'll see. Meatballs and broccoli. That sounds pretty good. Swedish meatballs or regular meatballs? Um, so look, the kid was the number one pick overall. To me, you know, I, you know, I don't know how anybody, I mean, unless you are a super collector and you happen to do it, I don't know how anybody who pulls that card um, winds up keeping it. The guy did an interview with some channel. I only caught part of it, uh, but he bought a hobby box from his local card shop. It was $440 for a hobby box, and he pulled a card that's going to be again. Most people are thinking a minimum of about 350K. Now you never know. Again, you still need two people to want it, but we'll see what happens from that standpoint. So, from there, NFL, man. So there's talk, bunch of injuries people talking about. I mean, sorry, not people aren't talking about, but there's been a bunch of injuries. Um, but two big things. Bijan Robinson and is it I'm go- Jameer Gibbs, the two running backs, the Atlanta running back and the Detroit Lions running back are they're having a sit-in. They want new contracts, and supposedly those two will, reset the market. They'll probably more than likely pass what Saquon Barkley had, and we'll see what happens. Um, from a hobby news standpoint, it ain't going to do much for them. I don't think. I don't think everybody's going to go, oh my gosh, B. John Robinson's the highest paid running back. Let's go out and get some of his cards. Hello, Larkin. How you doing, buddy? Hope all is well. From that standpoint, there are some injuries going on. We'll see. And then there was the Buffalo Bills. I guess they are they're having some new uniforms. I don't care. People are making sure Josh Allen does Josh Allen like the new uniform? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, who cares? Let's be real about this. Baseball. I got to tell you, I mean, what is there really to talk about? We're coming up to the trading. We are coming up to the trading deadline. We are literally what 2 days away? Oh no, fast approaching with containers team deciding what they need to add before. I'm sorry. Ooh, and actually, I didn't realize it was extended to August 3rd. I always thought it was July 31st, but 6 p.m. August 3rd. Um, you know, everybody's wondering what's going to happen with Tariq Skubal. Uh, New York, a lot of the talk about is the Mets. How many? Then it's not if the Mets are going to make a trade, it's how many. There are predictions. Sean says, "Yo, Larkin." There are predictions that the Mets are going to make between 6 and 10 potential trades. That's crazy, but I'm okay with it. Tear it down. Italian meatballs, by the way. There you go. That's the only kind. That's the only kind to go ahead and make. But I'm saying that's a protein and broccoli. Are we doing keto? Are we doing some kind of a special thing there? 'Cause that's big protein and broccoli and everything. Stay away from the salad. Watch your lettuce. Just a little PSA. Watch your lettuce. Um, but where are the things going to go? Supposedly, from a New York Mets perspective, what the Mets have said publicly, and they have spoken to all the players. Basically, if your last name is Soto, Benj, Ewing, McLean, or Scott, you're not going to no trading now. Oh, there you go. Hungarian meatballs is the way to go. I've never had Hungarian meatballs. I've only had Swedish meatballs, and I have had you know, just meatballs. Um, Now people go, "Oh my gosh, you mean Francisco Lindor?" Francisco Lindor's not going to go anywhere. He'd have to agree to any kind of trade, and what's the chances of him doing that? But again, the idea is, What are they gonna do? Um, you know, what are they gonna do? What are teams really gonna do there? Who is potentially gonna, make a deal, not make a deal and stuff, and it's weird, who's a seller? Who's a buyer? You don't really know. I mean, the way things, are looking right now. It's like if you look in the American League, you know, I agree that this third wild card has created more teams that want to stay in it. But what's the number right now? Like if we're at the end of July, what number do you have to be at? And a number is games behind the last playoff spot to decide whether you're a buyer or a seller. Because if you're 5 games or less, there's only 3 teams in the American League who are, who are, past that. You have the Athletics are at 9, Kansas City Royals are at 9.5, and the Angels are at 12.5. Now, out of those 3 teams, if you're a buyer and you think they're a seller, who do you think they're going to sell? Yep, yeah. Langoliers is hurt, so a Goodman deal is harder. Probability plus Adelaide. Yeah, the Royals, A's, and Rockies don't have much trade, and that's what I was just gonna say. They may have stuff to trade, but not the players that they want to trade. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, who are the guys that every each one of those teams has guys that are like, there's no way we're trading X, Y, and Z. When we're not trading, if you're the Royals, you're not trading Bobby Witt. You're not trading, and even I know he's hurt, but you're like a Cole Raggins. There are guys that you're not trading. You know, they're not trading Cags. They're probably not trading Pasquatch, like that. If you're the A's, you're not trading Jack Wilson. You're not trading Nick Kurtz. Those are the guys teams are going to want. Those are the guys teams are going to call about. So you're right. They don't have much. The Rockies. What's weird about the Rockies, though, they have a couple of guys that are hitting good for average, but Goodman is probably the one because he's a catcher. That teams would go after. After that, who do they have? Mickey Moniak. Yeah, how much of a uh, how much are they going to try and get in return? For something along those lines. But then if you look in the National League again, if you're saying if it's that 5 game ish in that area, you have the Mets 10.5, you have the Giants 10.5, you have the Rockies that are 15. Again, those are 3 teams right there. Now, the Mets do have a bunch of people that people could want. They could want Freddie Peralta, even though he's doing like crap. They, uh, Weaver, Clay Holmes. They have 2 lefty relievers, Minter and Raleigh. So they have some guys that teams may want. What are you going to get from, who knows? Hey, if you're looking for a lefty reliever and there are teams that don't want to trade him and the Mets have too, maybe the price goes up a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Arise is probably anything else. I know, they would probably, the Giants in some way, shape, or form, even though the guy is doing pretty good, they'd love to get rid of Raf Devers' contract. They're looking at that going, oh my gosh, what the hell do we do? Yes, he's going ahead and he has 22 home runs. Yes, he has 60 RBIs. Um, but after that, I mean, that's it. You have a rise. They have the Willie Adamas contract. You know, that was a freaking stupid one to give up. So when you look at some of the guys they'd want to go ahead and get rid of, not going to happen. Yeah, Chapman. They're not gonna have to. They're not gonna be able to unload him. They're not gonna be able to unload Willie Adamas unless they were gonna go ahead and pay some money. And have some of these teams. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna go, hey, we have Chapman who has, how many years, or Adamas who has, a lot of years left. What are you talking about? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, well, this is what happens, you know? Like to see the Astros trade for Moniak or Varsho. Yeah, there's talk that Mr. Springer could potentially you know, go back there. What would you think if George Springer, you know, went back to Houston? Just looking to see what other kind of rumors they are they're talking about here. Um yeah, Springer, you know, uh will St. Louis do anything? The Orioles, you made a true. That's right. Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on what you have to give up. If you don't have to give up a lot, not a bad thing to go ahead and do. I mean, from that standpoint. But what are you gonna do? You're gonna take Jordan and put Jordan in the field all the time. So yeah, I mean that does go ahead and pose a little bit of an issue. Um, uh, Locking, you made an interesting. Oh, look who he is. Sorry, sir.
All right.
Um, no worries. You look at you said about the Orioles, they're an interesting one where they sit and everything. But again, it's from that if it's what it is. Like when I'm looking at the standings, you know, the Orioles are 2 games out of that last spot. So are they a buyer or they are a seller? You know? I mean, they have some pieces that people may want, but are you a buyer or a seller? There's a lot of teams. St. Louis, Washington, Pittsburgh, and Miami are all within 3 games of the final playoff spot. Are they gonna be willing to give up some younger, I don't wanna say top 5, maybe top 10, team prospects to try and make themselves, better? I mean, it's a big question to ask, you know? Like, again, and do the other thing, do you have what people want? Right? If you're Pittsburgh, you know, you probably have the guy you just drafted. The 2 guy well, actually, probably the 2 guys you drafted in this last draft are probably the only 2 guys people gonna want from your minor league system. Are you gonna be willing to do them to maybe, are you gonna get a rental? And is giving up your top prospect for a rental a right thing to do nowadays? Right. That's just it. The Pirates are going, they're not gonna take on money, and who knows? And maybe, you know, I don't know how this would affect if we get the salary cap thing, but it's the same type of thing, what are they gonna do? Yeah, supposedly the Brewers have talked to the Mets about Freddie Peralta, and bringing, Freddie Peralta back, you know? Like I said, I mean, when you look at things, I mean, you look at Washington. You look at what they have. They have some good young talent. Are they willing to go ahead and, you know, give up some of it to think if they can go ahead and make a run for the playoffs?
I think there's a chance that they would. If they do it, it'd have to be for pitching.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I think it's going to be, that's
Yeah,
the
we
one.
did.
This I know the third wild card has done a lot and added a lot to it. The Nats fleeced Boston. That was a crazy trade. I I don't understand um how they got that guy. I know the guy's I know he's on the injured list, but to go ahead and get a 24-year-old left-handed pitcher for Curtis Mead, yeah, who wound up getting hurt in his second at bat. for Curtis Mead, um who I mean, I don't know, man. That was I don't understand that trade. Um, so and we'll see what happens. That's an interesting one for me. But I think it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see that. Yeah, he's 24 years old and he's under control for a while and everything. I mean, he was, you know, 7-5 this year. And when they go ahead and get hurt, he's getting ready to come off the IL and stuff. Going to be a good addition. I mean, again, a good lefty pitcher. Those guys don't grow on trees, man. There's not a lot of them out there, and you can go ahead and get one, and you get it for a guy like Curtis Mead, who I believe, if I remember correctly, um, I believe he was a Tampa guy.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Tampa. Then he was moved to the White Sox, and then he wound up at Washington. I mean, he played 87 games. It wasn't like he wasn't really doing. I mean, he was doing good enough for Washington. But why is Boston trading for another infielder?
Yeah.
Because when you look at Boston's minor league system, and some of the guys that some of the other guys that they have, they had a bunch of infielders and stuff. And the freaking Marlins are tied with the Pirates, still talking about trading people away. But yeah, I don't. Again, that's what we talk about. Like we talked about it a little bit with the a couple of weeks ago. What are you going to do with a salary cap? Are you going to you're going to try and institute a salary cap, and you're going to make these teams have to do what? Man, did the outfielder fall down for Sal Perez to go ahead and get a triple? So these next couple of days are going to be interesting. I'm really surprised. I'm wondering if teams will just like, what are they trying to get through? They trying to get through this, I mean, it's Wednesday. The trading deadline ends on
Monday.
So our team's gonna look and say, hey, let's give it until Saturday and see where we are on Saturday to decide whether or not we want to try and go for it. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. It's like I don't understand what teams would be waiting for. It's not like it's not like we have a lot of time left. I mean, so that's the only thing I can think of is that they're going ahead and they're some of them are waiting to see last couple of days. Maybe they're trying to see who gets healthy and stuff like that. School pitched his last game. What people think could have been his last game for for the Tigers.
I don't know about that. I mean, they're saying
You don't
that.
think he can get? You don't think he'll get traded?
I don't think so. Something is telling me it's not. The only one team I've heard him been throwing around is the Giants getting them, but I just something tells me they're going to keep him.
I mean, the problem you have about keeping him, the problem you have about keeping him is, you you know, you're going to lose him. Potentially, you're going to lose him for nothing.
Right.
Like that's the that's the bad part. The bad part is you're gonna you're going to go ahead and lose him for nothing.
This is true.
Um, so I don't know. I think that's a tough. That's something. Or you get a draft pick.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I think he's there. I think you can see him. I think what happens is I don't think they get as good a deal as they would like. I
No, they're
think they
definitely.
trade him, but I think going to have to settle for a little less. You know,
Definitely.
so we'll see what happens. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Mets are going to do. I mean, I'm I'm really hoping that they blow up whatever it is they got to blow up and let whatever happens happens. I mean, just another team calls us, "Hey, will you trade this person?" Yes, I will. Yes, sure. What do you want? 2 bags of balls? You driving a hard bargain, but okay. You know. Again, we'll see what happens as it goes on. But like
Yeah.
you wondered, did the Yankees do anything?
They
I
sh-
don't know. I still look at the Dodgers, and
Dodgers aren't doing anything. They may do something small, but they're not doing anything big.
you don't think they go for Scooble?
I don't think so. No. Do they really need them? I mean,
Ugh.
you lose Clayton, but I mean, Screwball's no Clayton, that's for sure. So I just don't see him making any big moves if they make any.
Yeah.
The big one everybody's gonna watch is the Screwball to see where he if he gets traded at all.
I tell you, the other guy that uh the other guy that people are talking about who potentially could get traded, and I don't understand why you would, is Mason Miller, the reliever from San Diego. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know why you would trade that kid.
like there's trade rumors that CJ's on the trading block, although it's been said no by the Nationals plenty of times. But we all know that doesn't mean anything.
Well, that is true. That is true.
So
Brewers are the team to get him. Loaded farm system. They go into the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I tell you, Larkin, I didn't even think about the Brewers, but when you look, when you look at some of the things that they have done, over the last little bit, they have promoted, you know, uh, some of their their younger guys. Um, like they promoted Cooper Pratt, they promoted Luis Lara, guys that they were very high on that are now, in the majors. I can see them, offering, they just, they got Jet Williams from the Mets last year. He's the fifth rated prospect. I don't know how they feel about, Luis Pena or Jesus Made, but I mean, those two guys that you can go ahead and think about, going ahead and getting and moving on from, because you look at, what you have in the majors and, like there's, unless, like, Jesus Made is going to change his position, is there room? I mean, you already have a young guy that you promoted as shortstop. Again, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. But
right,
the Brewers are a team that could go ahead and
they are the top
um,
front runner right now for him.
for Skubal.
Yep. Dodgers are there, Braves are there, but they're kind of in the back in the wings. And then the dark horses are the Rays, Yankees, and Cubs. But I could see him, and I mean, if he does get traded, the Brewers, I would imagine, probably be the spot I'd see him going to.
Yeah, I say the thing that gets me, and I know the reason why the Dodgers need him, Dodgers need him. Like don't feel like Otani's not good. We don't know. They don't know when Otani's going to pitch again. Gavin Cross has homered in straight games at AAA and is on a 19-game hitting streak. Why the hell have we not called him up? Don't know. Great question. You have Otani again. Otani's not going to pitch for a while, probably, or they're not going to rush him back. So
Right.
I don't know. The trade deadline is going to be
You're gonna see a
deadline will
massive.
be very interesting.
You're gonna see a massive trades if that does happen on Monday.
I'm not going to lie. I think obviously I get like I said. I think teams will wait till Saturday. They'll see where they are on Saturday. And then some teams will make some moves. And then you think about it. There are teams right now that we're thinking won't be sellers. But if all of a sudden, Friday comes, and they've now they lost, today. They maybe they're playing all week long. They lose today, they lose tomorrow, they lose on Friday. Now all of a sudden, ooh, they may become a seller now.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you have, you have teams go into the weekend. I think, again, what happens over the weekend with some of these teams? That's another thing that can go ahead and I think could play a big part of it.
Very true. I mean, the Phillies could be buyers for all we know. And they've dropped the last couple, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're 2-8 in their last 10 games, so there's a possibility there.
but I think that's where you're looking. Where I mean, I don't know. Like you hear, I don't know, man. I understand about being the third wild card. I understand about trying to go ahead and make it the playoffs and so on and so forth. And I don't know. It's like, oh man, even if we're that team, we get what we get one home game, two home games in the playoffs. That's extra revenue, and everything's gonna go great and everything. But to me, that's the part that sucks. Is you have teams that's what they're playing for.
Yeah.
I mean, you are literally saying we just want to be the sixth best team.
Right.
There's 15 teams. We just want to be number 6.
So the top 3 for the NL are the Cubs, the Diamondbacks, and the Phillies. Diamondbacks, I just don't understand that, but I guess you got to take one from each area.
No, it's based off of their record. The wild card is all based off of record after your division leaders.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you had the Phillies. Then we're tied with the Marlins at 8 games back. Diamondbacks, I guess, second place, I think. So there's Padres, Pirates, Marlins, and us are the 4 behind those guys. I mean, if we don't make the playoffs, I'm okay with it. The way we played this year, I'm happy with it. So we still got plenty of games left.
Well, I think that's the big thing. Again, again, I look at it from a standpoint of is what do what are you trying to do? That's like on X, I mean they a Mets just a Mets chat group and everything, and everybody's like, oh man, we go ahead and we regroup and everything, and we'll the idea is to compete next year. And it's like, compete for what?
You need like a total
You're
reconstruction. You don't
you're
need,
you're 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 probably going to lose close to 90 games this year. What are you going to compete for?
staying
Like,
out of last place.
I mean, and it's like, I asked the guys, I'm like, listen, and there's a bunch of younger people in there, and yeah, they do a lot, they're posting a lot about the Mets minor league system. And, oh man, we got this young guy at double A. Oh, we got this young guy at single A. It's like, and how the hell do they help you next year?
Yeah.
And what you're gonna put you already have four younger guys that you're saying are untouchable that are on the big league team right now. You're gonna bring what? A bunch more up, and all of a sudden, what, you're expecting a bunch of these rookies to go ahead and be like, hey, we're just happy to be here. We're just playing, no pressure, no nothing. No, it doesn't work that way all the time. Does it work that way every now and again? Yes, it does. But typically it doesn't work that way.
I mean,
So
your
what
big
are
name
you
guys
competing?
are set. They're not going anywhere. You know that.
What?
Your Soto's not going anywhere. Uh, who's your other big guy? Lindor's not going anywhere.
Lindor's probably I don't Lindor won't go anywhere during the season. But it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to move him in the off season. Now he has to agree to it and everything because he's a 10-5 guy, and he has a full no trade clause. So you could, if you wanted to, in the off season, say, hey, again, so you big guy, he's 33 years old and he plays shortstop.
Yeah, they did. I remember that.
They are,
But
they are doing, just fine. They are doing, but they're not doing it with a lot of, super young players and stuff like that. And again, you know,
who would you like to see the Mets go after?
nobody.
Really?
No, yeah, no. I mean, because you're 10.5 games out of the last playoff spot. So what does going after anybody do?
Unless you can pick up some good minor league players for yourself.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you that's what
That's
trade
what you're going for.
anybody and everybody. Don't bring back. I mean, I wouldn't bring back Major League Baseball players unless you have to, and just try and go ahead and take as many swings as you can at some of these young guys. And we were talking about, like I said, in the Mets thing, and no one could go ahead and answer a question. All I asked was, people are going, well, we got the bats and everything, and all we need is a few arms. And I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Since he has been in New York, what has David Stearns showed you that he's going to be able to make a good move? Because the truth of the matter is think about it. Every person that he picked up in this last offseason is available for trade.
Yeah.
Every single person that he picked up when it was, oh my gosh, we got Freddie Peralta. Oh my gosh, we got Jorge Polanco. Oh my gosh, we have this guy, we have that guy. Every single guy that they picked up is available for trade. What makes you think he's going to be able to go ahead and do it and the opposite of that next year?
You got a point there.
Yeah, I mean Durant. I mean, you're right. A guy like Durant, if the Mets can go ahead, but the Mets don't need an outfielder. That's just it, right? The Mets need pitching. So, take some swings. See if guys give you, I don't know, scout the minor league, scout the single A, scout the double A, and if you can get some highly ranked double A pitchers or single A pitchers, go ahead and go for it. But I mean, there's really, there's really nobody. Yeah, but so
Yeah.
if he can't handle New York, then it's not a good move.
And Lou Bob was a bad one, I think, for you guys. I understand that one.
Well, Lou Bob was a Lou Bob was basically playing the lottery. I mean, when you look at what you gave up Luis Angel Acuna, right?
Right.
I mean, if you look at if you look at what the White Sox are doing, and if you go to their depth chart, you know, I mean, the guy really doesn't play. And you look at his game log. I mean, yeah, he's gotten a few at bats here or there, but he's batting 247 with one home run, 12 RBIs.
Wow.
No, you're right. There was no way to know that. I will give you that. But let me ask you this. Other than last year of going 11-6, what what did he do that was so great? He was 17-6 last year. He was 11-9 the year before that. He was 12-10 the year before that. In 2022, I mean, he must have been hurt. He was only 4-4. He was 5-10 in 2021. It's not like you're talking about a guy who, oh my goodness gracious, has been lights out for the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, one good year, you know,
So how did Soto get hurt?
calf, I think, calf strain.
Mm.
Peralta didn't think it would have been a problem, or he wouldn't have signed. Peralta didn't sign. Peralta's not signed. Peralta did not. The Mets and Peralta have not agreed on any kind of extension. Freddie Peralta was 1-2 in the playoffs last year. Freddie Peralta in 9 playoff games, he's 1-3 with a 4.32 ERA. I mean, now again, what did the Mets go ahead and give up? They did give up. They gave up 2 guys that they thought were not going to be able to go ahead and really show anything with the team. Again, to me, that was another one. Is you didn't give up a crap ton. You didn't give up a crap ton, and you see what happens. The thing with Lou Bob. I mean, to me, that's Stearns walked into the grocery store, or what Stearns walked into the gas station, had a $20 bill, and said, "Hey, you know what? Give me 10 quick picks for a Powerball." That's what he did with that. He played the lottery. Because if Lou Bob would have stayed healthy, who knows? But the guy is a walking, friggin', he's a walking. He's as bad as Byron Buxton. Who Byron Buxton went on the injured list again. Pasquantino went on the IL. They're locking. So I don't know what they can do. It doesn't make a lot of sense, to me. We'll but yeah, I mean, if you could get a Duran because they're down on him, I would still go ahead and get him, because you could always go ahead, and use another outfielder. I just don't see it. I can't see them making any kind of move.
Curious to see when and if Trout ever decides to ask for a trade to get out of LA. I mean, I know he's got the no trade clause, but he can always say, "Hey, I want out."
Yeah,
and who would pick him up? That's the thing. I mean, I know Philly is the big one that he wants to go to, but they're not willing to pay.
You got that right. You got that right. Everybody, the Royals have been hit big time. Yeah, he's so, it's, to me, that's one of those guys where if you're the Angels, do you say to him, hey, are you happy being here or would you like to be traded? Because I don't think Trout wants to be the guy who says, hey, he walks into the GM's office and says, hey, I want to be traded. Or calls up the owner, hey, I want to be traded.
Right.
He doesn't give me that. But then again, now, okay, so you're the Angels, and he's owed what?
Good question.
What could he what could he be owed from a salary perspective? I'm not sure if we can find that information out. I know we can. I just don't know where to look.
I'm looking at his numbers right now. He's played 89 games this year, batting at 244 with 18 home runs and 40 RBIs. Yeah, he's not.
So so after this year, 1, 2, 3, he had four more years at $37 million a year. Like, if you're the Phillies and you want to go ahead and add him, and let's say you don't care about the money. For a guy who's been hurt as much as he is, what are you going to, like, if you're the Phillies, what do you think you're gonna get in return? I mean, if you're the Angels, what do you think you're gonna get in return?
Yeah. And they're not going to send anybody big. I don't know who they have in farm system and all that, but I mean, you're not going to get a great return for them.
No.
I mean, and what are the Phillies going to bring him in as a DH?
I think they would have to and everything, but I don't like the Phillies have nobody that is close. Well, Aiden Miller, his ETA, if you go on MLB.com and you look at their rankings, his ETA to the MLB is 2026. So he's supposed to be called up this year. He's in AAA. Okay. But after that, when you look at their top 5 prospects, 2 guys are in AA, 1 guy's in A+ ball, and 1 guy's in rookie ball still. You know what I'm saying? So, like, like what is any team going to give up for Mike Trout? Knowing that you have 37. So what? You have 120. You have 100 and think about it, you still have just under $150 million left on that contract.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I agree with what you're saying. Like, you're wondering, is he one of those guys who, would move on? And I don't disagree with them trying to move on from him. It's just a matter of, what are you going to get? Are you just, to me, you're just moving on to him to say, hey, Mike, we love what you have done for our organization since 2011? Right? Is that when he made? Because it's his 2011. Isn't it his 2011 card that was the big rookie card at one time?
2012.
2012. All right. So since 2012, hey Mike, you've been here for friggin' 14 years. We we want to do you a solid. Where do you want to go? And then what can we get back for him? What are you going to try and get from him?
True.
I don't know, man.
Maybe some crappy draft picks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously you have to get something, but if you're a team, let's say he said he wanted to come to Washington, are you giving up any of your top 5 are you giving up any of your top 5 prospects for him?
No, no, no. Never.
Which is absolutely crazy from what you think about who the player he was.
Yeah.
You know?
Injuries hurt him a lot. The injury bug hurt him a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a guy who had the talent, who staying healthy would have gone down as probably one of the top 3 to 4 players of all time. All time. You know. But
he would have been giving Judge a run for his money.
Oh, heck yeah. He most definitely would give Judge a run for his money. You know. But again, you're talking about a guy who's, top guy. Top guy.
I mean, I'd give him a 7th round draft pick for him. I mean,
It's not like football. And I don't know if they can trade draft picks. I think that's one of the things they want to try. I don't know. There's something. I don't know about draft picks, but there is something about that whole thing that they're trying to do and stuff. So we will see.
Players.
We will see. So let's talk about the big thing, man.
Let's do it.
The next big thing, we have SummerSlam coming up this weekend, and looking at how the card is laid out, we'll do Saturday and then we'll do Sunday. They are banking on people falling in love on Saturday, and then hoping like hell a couple of those undercard matches do something to not piss off people. Yeah. So when you look at what we have going on, night 1, and this is not the match order, although I have heard that Punk Cody is the main event, but I don't know anything else.
I know. That would make sense.
Pardon me?
That would make sense.
Yeah. I mean, they loaded up night 1. I mean, other than the 6-woman tag, the 6-man tag is good. Gunther, Nick Aldis, the women's championship, the Hell in the Cell, and the disputed, and the undisputed, WWE championship match. That is really, I mean, that's a good card. Only 6 matches.
I think you're going to have one of those 2 top ones is what's going to open the show. I would think the men.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if they do, I don't know if they've said it. I'm sure they are. How they've been doing the first hour is free, on ESPN. I'm assuming they're doing that. I haven't heard anything, but I believe. Huh?
I haven't heard anything either in any show. Unless they say
so I don't know for sure. But if they are, I can see them doing the 6-man tag as the first one.
Yeah, you would have to, or if you do, you're going to have to put either Gunther and Nick Aldis or Hell in a Cell match right after that.
Because you think about it from a standpoint of is I wouldn't think you'd do Hell in the Cell because the first hour that was free at WrestleMania, you had Oba and Brock. Now, if you say, hey, guess what? Including entrances, this is going to be, a 35-minute match, then I can kind of sort of see you doing it. But But to me, I think the 6-man tag is probably the way to go. But we'll go ahead and we'll go through and stuff, and um,
They could put Nick Aldis one on first on that free hour too
they could. I don't know.
to draw people in. I don't know. All right, let's
I
go.
have not heard the match order yet. Yes, yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But Fatal Influence versus Nikki, Bree, and Paige. I'm not sure what happens here. The only thing I could think of that would make any kind of sense that might make this interesting would be if Paige does something during the match that causes the Bellas to turn on her. But I don't think this really does. This is just this is filler work. This is getting more people on the card that need to be there.
The only thing I could possibly see coming out of this match is Paige is the one that gets pinned, and then Bella's turn on her for getting pinned.
Yeah,
It's the only thing that makes sense out of any of this because they're not going to win it. I mean,
and you're not breaking up Fatal Influence, right?
Right. Well, I wouldn't surprise me, Lockin. It wouldn't. But doesn't mean they wouldn't get another title run for a short title run.
Mm.
But I just don't see it. Doesn't make sense for if they do have Nikki and Brie and them win, they could set something up for Survivor Series.
Yeah, that would be the thing. Nikki Bella would pin JC Jane, which would be absolutely stupid. I mean, are they doing it so? Is this the beginning of a Survivor Series War Games? I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's not a war game I want to watch.
I don't want to see the Bella twins in a War Games match. Hell no. Or Paige. Again, I think this is just a filler match. I don't know me personally, I don't know what it does. It again and so if Fatal Influences wins,
what's it do for it?
That's what I'm saying. So what? These three, the factions and everything.
We beat all timers.
Are you then gonna go after Jade and BFAB and Michin? Because that's the only other 3 women faction.
You kind of have Judgment Day too.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You have your new Intercontinental Champion, Raquel Rodriguez, who I haven't heard about the nose thing. I haven't looked on. Been busy most of the day. I haven't looked to see if it was confirmed that her nose was busted.
Yeah, I didn't look it up.
But I don't know.
Anyway, here's another filler match for me.
This one is interesting to me. Could you have a solo turn on LA Knight and Royce Keys? Could you have a Jacob Fatu turn on the Usos?
I just more see the Solo flipping, and then down the road, something between him and Solo. He'll get tired of Roman and be like, all right, look. And then I just see Solo flipping here. I don't know why.
I mean, that's the only way it makes sense. If you're truly trying to build this bloodline again, bloodline 2.0, whatever the hell you want to call it, you can't have the bloodline lose.
And you're not going to have him win cleanly either. because that's not how they play.
Right. But I don't know. Like I said, I really don't have a winner or a loser here. I mean, I don't know. Again, and we spoke about a couple times when we talk wrestling is you bring in Royce Keys. Why? Why are you taking that guy who is no young? He's not a young guy. And he's not super old. He's not, 45, 46 years old for wrestling.
Right.
But he's not a guy who's in his 20s.
Hey, they brought him in to win the Andre the Giant thing. That was it.
Well, then he's just about done.
I just hate what they're doing with LA Knight. They need to, every time they give him a push, they cut it out again. And it's like he's one of your bigger guys. People, it just makes no sense what they're doing with him. Unless they're planning on something huge for him down the road, I don't know, but I think he's going to end up being just a straight mid card, even less maybe.
That's why if you're a guy like him, and you look at how he's been used throughout his career, you sit there and you go, why would you sign another contract?
Yeah, I didn't understand that either, but unless there's something in that contract that states that at some point you're going to get that title run. But even that for me wouldn't be enough. You guarantee me a title win and I hold it for more than a week? Maybe.
Yeah, are you going to Sami Zayn me 9 days?
I know, right? Oh, I'm not a Sami Zayn, so I wish he'd just leave.
But I think it comes down to Solo and Jacob as wondering if either one of them is going to go ahead and flip. And again, I don't know what it does. What does it mean? Does it mean? Obviously, if you were to do something and you're able to get Solo to flip with the OTC, there's your 5. If you can get LA Knight, you can get Royce Keys,
and then you need 3 other guys.
You can get probably Seth,
yeah. Probably, maybe even CM Punk. And possibly Cody. That would be your 5 on that side.
To go ahead and go against the bloodline. I don't know. It's, something.
Yeah, I don't know what their plan is there, but... Oh.
I don't know how you have Gunther lose. You can't... You're going to have Gunther lose to a guy who hasn't been in the ring for 3 years?
I don't know. It's possible.
Are you doing it just to set up another match at what?
No, you gotta have 2 more matches. Don't worry. It's always 3 matches. Remember. But this would make no sense to go 3 matches with. Honestly, I don't think Aldis has it in him for 3 matches. He might have this 1.
Because in reality, I guess you have Money in the Bank in October. You have Survivor Series. Now, you should have WrestlePalooza. I got to believe that's going to come back, right? Wouldn't you think?
I was thinking that too, but you don't see it anywhere on the schedule anywhere for that time of year when it happened last year.
That's true.
Like you would think it would be on their schedule somewhere. And maybe it just didn't do good.
Because right now, the only thing you got is you have Saturday night's main event on Sunday night in Atlanta in September.
Yeah.
You have Triple Mania, you have Worlds Collide, you have stuff like that, but you don't really have any other big WWE events on the calendar right now.
Right. This one with WWE, I feel could go either way.
You think they could have Aldis win?
I think they could. It would not be a clean win. I think there'd be a distraction somewhere to where all this would get the win, surprise type win, but either a quick count or something like that, and he rolls out of the ring before anything can happen.
A cheap shot?
If it is, it's not by him. It's going to be by somebody else. I don't know who, though.
I don't know, man. I just
Because it's like they're not putting the career killer on him anymore, so it's not like he's going to take his career.
No, when he comes out, it's on the board.
Is it? I thought I saw the ring general again now.
I thought I saw a career killer last time.
Or maybe they just don't know what they want to do with him.
Yeah. I don't know.
To me, a bad name for him. He should have just left it as the ring general. Career killer. Who's next? There really isn't anybody. He's not. They're not going to do it to Rey Mysterio because he already told them that he wants his son to do it.
Right.
And that will make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nobody else really ready to retire. What, you got to start retiring the women on that
and
side?
It's not like Aldis is only 39 years old.
And he's still pretty jacked.
Yeah. And
that's why they give him the win there.
And he did wrestle for, the NWA and TNA. He did well.
I mean, Gunther could use a loss. I mean, against all this, it's really not going to hurt him if he does lose. Because it's not an actual sanctioned match or whatever they want to call it.
Well, I just wonder from a standpoint of, what is this? Is this a, hey, we want to get Nick Aldis, into the Hall of Fame? Like, why did Nick Aldis stop wrestling?
You got a point there. Do they put him in?
Or is this one of those things to go ahead and get him? Just go ahead and to get him.
He gets a win in WWE.
A ring in the ring to get him into. Let's face it, to get him into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So I mean, this one could technically go either way, but something tells me they're going to have Aldis win this one. Maybe they are playing a second match or something. Like, if I beat you, you have to retire down the road. I don't know, but just I don't know. So
yeah, because what they're saying is that in 2022. He went ahead and he announced that he was let go from the NWA. Then he went back to TNA. And then he says, the return, Slammiversary. Then on July 16th, it was reported Aldis was officially done with Impact Wrestling and competed in his final match. Doesn't say anything as to why or anything. I don't necessarily disagree.
This could have been a better match. I mean, I would have even taken I hate to say it, a Sami Zayn Gunther match again here, but there's so much other talent that could be out there besides these two. Put a young match out there.
Well, but I mean, but at least this guy, when you look at some of the guys that they have brought in from other ones, when there's no need to, when supposedly they talked about how, well NXT was doing and look, all this kind of stuff. You look at the guys that they brought up, at least he has a history of being a champion, of being, and all this, of being, a top guy and stuff. I just don't know which way they go with it. I don't think they bring him in. I don't think they set up Gunther to get him lost unless it is one of those things where, I mean, could it be a loss that makes him snap? But why would he snap? I mean, for what?
True.
To get another match someplace else? But are you gonna wait, or are we gonna see this match on SmackDown in 2 weeks? 2 weeks later.
Good point.
So then we have Liv versus Io. This could be a good match. I think with Raquel winning the IC title, it would not surprise me if Io beat Liv. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know why you would take the belt off of Liv, at this point in time. What do you think?
I think there's a chance that Io wins this. I mean, they're all in on Liv. However, if Io does win, it's not going to be a long-lived, what do you call it, run there.
I mean, do you have Io win and then you have Liv win Money in the Bank again?
No, I mean, this would be a terrible thing for them, but if Liv loses, she gets a rematch Monday night and wins it back with interference with the Judgment Day, maybe? I don't know. I don't see how they take it off of Liv, but there is that possibility with WWE because Io is probably right up there with her.
Yeah, I guess it's a matter of, does either one of them need the belt more than the other?
Right. I agree with you there. I agree.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know either way.
Yeah.
It would, again, like you, it would not surprise me if whoever's hands gets raised at the end of this one. It wouldn't surprise me, if it was either one.
Right.
And then we have Oba and Brock in Hell in a Cell. I tell you, the one thing I don't want to see out of this match, if Oba wins, I don't want to see Brock go ahead and take his shoes off and take his gloves off and put him in the ring, because you did that
already
3 months ago in April.
I really was banking that they were going to have Oba win this, but watching all the preview stuff up to it between them two, I'm kind of wondering if they're planning on having Brock win this. Brock goes out as a winner, but kind of passes the torch to Oba by shaking his hand or whatever at the end. Like, good match. Here you go. You're taking over.
But does Brock just say it? But then does he just announce it over the microphone? Hey, I'm done.
This is my last match.
I'm retiring. I'm going back to Canada.
Hey.
And to tend to my land and everything. Thank you very much.
Possibility there.
From that standpoint, but not the whole
taking the shoes off.
Not the whole way you did it at Mania, because why would anybody really believe you?
Right. And does Brock go out as a loser? I mean, it's possible.
Well,
I mean, I'm still going Oba here. I'm still going with Oba here on this one, though. Something tells me just leaning more Oba with Brock being where he's at in his career. What else has he got to accomplish really here?
Yeah,
If he wins, where does he go?
he has nothing to accomplish. Again, but if you go out though, it's going to be a very quiet retirement.
Yeah,
Like work because again, yeah, but again, I don't, as Lawkins, said, they're idiots, in Connecticut. So anything is possible. They can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? Here's what you're going to do. You can go ahead and you can retire. Do you want this to be your last match? Yes, it is. Okay, you're going to retire. Yes, it is. All right, then do it. But this time you're done.
yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, there's
I mean,
no
I like
reason.
the
The
idea
problem you
that,
have is there's no reason for Brock to win.
right, there isn't. Unless he's got that mentality, I got to go out a winner. I can't go out a loser. I don't know. I mean, I like that if this is his retirement match, that they're doing it with Oba and not Gunther. Because I don't think anybody in their real mind would believe Gunther could beat
Correct.
Brock. I would like to see a match with freaking Oba and Gunther. That'd be an interesting match.
I'm sure we will get that at some point.
Yeah, but this one here, I'm gonna give to Oba.
Me too, because I just don't know what it does. I mean,
Short of, like I said, I want to win going out, but then that hurts Oba technically.
yeah, like if you have him beat Oba and then he retires, I'm done. Thank you very much. Have a nice one. Then the Beast beats the Ruler,
Yeah,
and how are you the Ruler anymore?
exactly. So that's where I'm going with that one. Oh,
And we have what is going to be the main event.
yeah.
These two guys are going to close the show on Saturday night. Everything that I've heard.
I would agree with that. That's normally how it is. I mean, I would like to see the Oba match close it, but we know this is going to be the one. It's usually always a championship match that closes it.
Yeah.
And there's another one that could go either way. Because putting the belt on either one of these doesn't really do much for them. And neither does a loss, really.
See, here's the thing. If you look at Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
You have a number one contenders match in Sammy and Finn. You could literally say, to me, I think the winner of this match predicts the winner of that match. Because I think if Punk wins, they almost have to have Sammy win for Sammy to try and get his revenge.
Right. You get Cody to win, Finn wins to be able to.
Because they haven't gone again, right? We've already seen Finn against Punk twice.
Right.
Right. We've seen Sammy in the ring with Cody.
Right.
We've only seen. Right. You've only seen Sammy and Punk for how many minutes was that match? The short one, right?
I think it was like 20 minutes. I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's not. Well, then it was a lot longer. I thought it was a short one.
I think I could.
But you know what I'm saying? So that's the way it is. I don't know. I don't see why they take it off of Punk. I think they'll leave it on Punk. Now there's people saying, well, this is going to be the thing that sets Cody into being a heel, and it's going to be great and all kind of stuff. And to me,
I don't see it.
Even if you see it, and it's not on the same. I know they're not on the same level, but this is going to be like the John Cena thing, where from a standpoint of not the guys, not the wrestlers, but it was something that the fans have talked about, right? The fans want Cody to go ahead and be a heel, right? And the fans wanted John Cena so much to be a heel. How'd that work out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They cheered for him at first. I think that's what's going to happen. If Cody were to go ahead and turn heel, I don't think he could be the kind of heel like a Gunther is. Like I don't think Cody is a hated heel. I think
Right.
Cody is a cheered heel.
Right. Um, there's been speculation of who coming back, the final boss. If he shows up during this match, does he try to do the same thing he did with John Cena and they make that try to work? I mean, it doesn't make sense, but then again, neither does WWE. I could see him if he did come back more or less for the Seth Rollins Roman Reigns match to try to set something up there for a Roman versus Rock match. But
Right.
then again, like I said, I think you're right. I think they keep it on Punk here. I don't think they turn Cody because I don't think he's ready yet for that. I mean, they kind of showed a little bit here and there, but I don't. Like I said, I think it'd be end up being a John Cena thing. He's heel for 3 or 4 months, and then it's like maybe Punk's the one that say, "Hey, I want the real Cody. I don't want this whatever this is, Cody." Type thing like Cody did with John Cena. If they did that kind of thing, I could just see that happening, which we've already seen it. Don't want to see it again. But repetitive is what WWE is about.
Well, look, I mean, in 2025, we had the real last champion, and then in 2026, we had the last real good guy.
This is true.
I mean, you couldn't think of it. Like, I cannot believe that people in creative was standing around going, "Okay,
What do we call
what if
him?
we call him the last real good guy?" Like, I don't know if we done anything like that before. Yeah, you friggin' idiots! You did the last real champion, friggin' 20 dumbasses. But I don't know. I think when you look at this one, uh, you know, I think it's. But why does Punk deserve? I think they're gonna look at honestly. I think they're gonna way they're gonna look at it. They're gonna say, you know what? CM Punk has he's
He's been heel, and
he's
people
been
cheer.
heel, but he's been here. He is he's a little more corporate now than he was. And guess what, people? He you know he deserves a little longer run this time.
How long? I wonder how long he holds it for. If he does win this one, which I think that
If he wins this one, I mean, typically, if you just go by what's on the books, you wouldn't have him lose it on a Saturday night's main event.
no,
Money in the Bank, typically titles really, don't
they're very
kind of
rare.
like you could have a title match and maybe you could have someone try and cash in, that, but you'd have to see, the the only way you'd see if you'd have a cash in on the actual Money in the Bank night would be who the champion is, would make you think, who might go ahead and, and get the win. Like if Punk were to go ahead and have the title and everything, is Sammy in Money in the Bank? You can see Sam, and then Punk is going up against Cody again, and Punk Cody beats the crap out of him, but Punk still goes ahead and Punk in a weary and catch him with a GTS, and and then like a Sammy goes ahead and cashes in. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know if honestly, I don't know if WWE thinks that far ahead anymore.
And supposedly they are 3 months ahead of everything. Of any pay per view, it's always 3 months. They know what's going to happen 3 months ahead, but I don't think they really know. I mean, it could also happen at Survivor Series if Punk or Cody, the winner of that match, is in that match.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
other than that, though, it wouldn't be until I would imagine Mania.
That's the crazy part, right? Because you know, I don't know, man.
But I'm like you. I don't see the point of taking it off of Punk right now.
Yeah, and putting it right back on to Cody after you had Sammy, ahead and make that win, and then Punk, well, you know, now it even lessens the whole crap with Sammy going
Right.
up against Punk
Right.
because you took the belt off of him.
Yeah. It would make no sense.
The only reason why you want Sammy to go ahead and get Punk is so you can use that angle, from that standpoint.
True.
But that would be the end of night one. And honestly, like I said, when you look at the match schedule, these matches here definitely better than what we have coming up.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You have Danhausen against Dominic in a human monies on a pole match. You have the undisputed WWE Championship #1 contender match. Cody can win and Shinsuke can win it for a week. Then Punk can win it.
There you go. There you go.
Trick Williams against Corbin for the U.S. title. Penta Cable for the IC title. The interim women's championship. And then the head of the table, the OTC, Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins.
Who was on? Real quick, go back to that. Who left the title vacant for the women?
Rhea, she's hurt.
Okay, you know
she has a meniscus thing, and the only reason why they're, from what I have read online, is the only, and what I've listened to on the wrestling channel on Sirius, WWE Radio, and before that it was Wrestling 24/7, Pro Wrestling 24/7 Network. Her issue is that she has a meniscus issue, and she is like close, but not close enough to where like it's one of those things where it's like it could she could be back in 2-3 weeks, but then they're saying that there's a chance that maybe that doesn't happen, so that's why they're doing this.
Because I noticed they just had question mark after Chelsea Green's name, so I'm wondering if they're adding someone.
We'll go ahead and we'll hit that one. But Danhausen against Dominic for human monies, the human monies on a pole match. It is. I don't care. I'm sorry.
I would love to see Danhausen win this, but I think you're going to see Dom get his revenge to get the money or whatever it is. Unless they're going to keep this going for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, I'm not 100% sure, where they're going and everything. I mean, I will give Danhausen credit. The guy can go ahead. He is a better wrestler than I thought he was. I'm not saying he's great, but he's better than I thought he was. Like, I didn't realize he was as good as he is, and no DQ, so they're going to have people everywhere. That's true. That's true. Normally, a money on a pole match, so we'll get all the mini Danhausens. You probably get JD. You're probably going to have Joe Hendry come out. It's going to be a friggin' mess. It's going to be stupid. Sammy against Finn.
This is going to depend on who wins the Cody match.
And because I think Punk is going to win, I think Sammy's going to win. Wow. I don't know why they would do that to Finn, to be honest with you. It's another one of those ones is, what are you really doing? You're talking about a guy who was your first undisputed heavyweight champion and it's taken him, this long to even sniff that level. And maybe that the whole Judgment Day thing and all that kind of stuff, maybe that went ahead and hurt him. But if Finn loses to Sammy, what is it? I mean, what does it say? Where does it go? Where does he go?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'd like to see Finn win this one. I would, even if it is another Finn Punk match. I just think that's going to be a better match than a Sammy loser Zayn win.
I agree. I think Finn, definitely could go ahead and become champion. And we'd have to go from there. But I don't. To me, again, I don't understand. I look at it from a standpoint of it's like, okay, I think the reason why you go ahead and you have Finn win is you could have a serious Sammy crash out.
Yeah.
And then is this a time when KO can come back?
There has been talk about him coming back.
And does he confront him from a standpoint, hey, you're not supposed to act that way, so on and so forth? I don't know. I don't know if they come back as friends or if they come back where they're enemies again. I don't know about that part. That's the only thing I thought maybe you could have happen. But this, I mean,
I would love to see them mess with Sammy and have Finn come out as the demon for this match. Because that would just mess with Sammy's head.
Oh, it would. It would give him, oh my gosh, first, 9 days out of nowhere, it's CM Punk. Now you're telling me I'm wrestling Finn Balor, and all of a sudden now I'm wrestling the Demon. So yeah, that would be.
That would be something that the WWE could do to really throw people off, not seeing it coming.
That, yeah.
Not going to do it,
but really cool.
But yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm just, again, you try and think, okay, if you have, what's the reasoning for having Sammy being the number one contender? What would be the reason for having Finn Balor be the number one contender? And again, if you're keeping the belt on Punk, it makes more sense that Sammy would win.
It does, but I actually think Finn has a better backstory with it, not ever getting his rematch after relinquishing the title. So, I mean, I think Finn has the better. I mean, I don't know. That's true. I think
Finn is a better wrestler. Yeah, my documentary about it, the conspiracy against him. Yeah, I mean, that would, if you go. Hey, Matty Ice, what's up, man?
What's up, Matty?
I missed that one. But again, like when I, sit here, and you look at it, and Sammy versus Punk makes sense.
It does, but
are you going to get his revenge?
But do you have Sammy take the title off of Punk here?
I don't know if you do, but again, I look back at it as, and why would you do something? Why would you do something like that to Finn?
Yeah, this is all like killing Finn if they do. Whereas, like you said, where does Finn go if he doesn't win this?
I mean,
the mid card.
Yeah, that's all he can do.
This makes sense.
What are we going to see him go say? Screw it! I'm going to go after Trick Williams now. I don't know. Speaking of Trick Williams. Man, yeah, well, that or maybe he's Uber Matty.
If they plan on Corbin winning this, I would be pissed. I mean, I'm not a big Trick Williams fan, but Corbin makes no sense winning here. Why even bring him back? He sucked to begin with.
Yeah, oh yeah, Matty driving the limo. Imagine seeing Matty in one of those limo driver hats.
I know, in the whole suit and getting out and open the back door.
Hello, sir. Welcome to the card show. Matty's limo service. I'll drop you off at the VFW. I mean, here's the thing that gets me. Again, you talk about the talent and so on and so forth, yet you have to bring this guy back.
Yeah.
Wow. Did he have a match? No, he butted in and did some other crap. But again, you have Carmelo Hayes, you have Ilya Dragunov, you have other guys that you could go. Yeah, hell, although I can't stand the way he wrestles, I'm not a big fan of his. Javon Evans, Ethan Page, but you bring this guy back.
And I agree with Lawkin. Typical WWE throw guy in the trash and bring him back as a title.
Yeah. Great poupon. I just don't, like I said, from the standpoint is I'm just trying to understand exactly. He was with ML, he was with Major League Wrestling. It's not like he was one of the top indie, like not even on the top indies or anything. He was in Major League Wrestling. I think he wasn't he going up against what's his name, the friggin' bro, Matt Riddle? I mean, I don't understand how I just don't get this.
I would have rather seen, like you said, Trick versus Carmelo, any one of those younger guys. And if you had to have an older guy do it, have him go up against Cardona.
Yes.
Bring this idiot back.
That's what I mean. Again, it's one of those things that makes you look and you go, WWE, I want to go ahead and understand what you're doing, but I can't. Yeah, Dragunov, Cardona. Again, wow. You know what would have been a good one? But are we saying that there was no? I mean, Corbin is a good heel.
He is. Yeah.
Trick is a face. He may want to be a heel, but he ain't. So maybe that's the reason why they had no bad guys per se. Then freaking make a bad guy. You could make a bad. You turn Carmelo. Carmelo was a bad guy because he went ahead and he attacked Trick Williams when they were down in NXT. So you already had a built-in adversary thing where they were like buddies, and then boom, they were enemies. And stuff like that. I just don't understand. Yeah. From that standpoint, but Trick better win because I have a buddy who despises Corbin, and I know he's going to be watching on Sunday, and I can only imagine the cringe he's going to go through if they say, and new United States champion, Baron Corbin.
Well, I guess they trademarked a nickname for Baron Corbin, the Nomad.
Great.
Filed a trademark, so I'm assuming he's here for a while.
Well, it's just like they went ahead and changed Mike Santana to Cruz Montana.
I saw Big Cass is back. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. There's no talk about Enzo, but Big Cass, they're like, well, the reason why WWE is bringing him back is they really didn't have a true big guy. Like, they don't have that Kevin Nash type guy. Big Cass was never like a Kevin Nash. What do you want, your minds?
No. He was more of a maybe
test.
Yeah.
He's more like a test.
I have heard rumors about them bringing Enzo back.
I hope they do. I think it would be awesome.
The certified G.
Yep.
Why do we want to bring back Elias? Why? Why, Lawkin? Why would you bring him back?
Penta, Chad Gable. This has all the writing on the wall of Chad Gable winning in Minnesota.
Yes.
Not sure why they would do it. I don't know what's the reasoning for pulling off of Penta, unless it's one of those things where you give Chad a run and he and Penta have a couple of matches, and maybe Chad gets the better of him in match number 2, then match number 3, Penta gets the better of him and gets the title back. I don't know. I don't understand.
Or does Penta want some time off? So he drops the title to Gable for a little while, comes back and challenges Gable for it.
True.
I think this is going to be, like you said, I believe Gable's going to win. I don't think Penta's going to get, he'd be upset, but I think he's going to get up and shake his hand, and all that.
100%. It is the first time that they would give Gable anything and stuff, and I tell you, I hope they are not reliving. Now, maybe they're not because it's IC stuff, but I hope they're not kind of reliving the whole Daniel Bryan thing. The smaller guy, the underdog, and all that other kind of crap. I hope they're not trying to eventually, you know, like get to that point.
Get another yes movement.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
I don't see that happening. I mean, I'd
see.
actually, I'd like to see him get back with Otis and Tozawa, but I don't see that happening. Oh, possibly with now what's her name being gone.
Well, they could, look, he wins the title. He has that remorse and everything and goes back with them. At that point, maybe Logan Paul is getting more healthier,
And yeah,
and you have that 3-on-3 type thing, and then you at least have 2 out of the 3 guys from on that side that could compete with with division. Because when you look at Tozawa, ain't nobody thinking, "Oh yeah, he's gonna beat the crap out of any one of those other 3 guys in the division."
he reminds me of
The
those
swoosh
two.
movement.
Tozawa reminds me of the two back in the '80s, the Funaki and that other one.
Yeah.
They always got their asses kicked.
Yep.
Always. So yeah, this
So,
is a Gable win here.
yeah, I think this is definitely, in my opinion, I think it just, it makes sense. And then you have this one here. So the reason why they still have a shadow is that match isn't until Friday. So they have they're going to have a qualifying match. I don't know who it is at this point in time. I haven't heard anything. They've screwed Nia Jax has gotten screwed twice. So with the way this is going and Adam Pearce being the GM on both, Adam Pearce could say, you know what? I'm making an announcement right now. Nia Jax is in this match. Terrible move. But to me, I'm picking Chelsea Green. Because it's an interim thing, she's always done every single thing that they've ever asked from her. It gives her that chance to, you know, be a champion that there's an end to it, right? Because you have Rhea comes back and on Saturday night main event in September, right? If she comes back in a couple weeks, you have her go back. You have her go against Chelsea, and she wins. I mean, she wins her title without losing her title. She gets her title back with never going ahead and losing it.
True.
Give these 5 botchers ladders. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, that's where I look at it. I know there's a lot of talk that Tiffy is from that area also. There's people saying, man,
Okay, so it's
Tiffany.
It's
Pardon me?
Julia and Lash Legend are gonna. It's
Oh,
gonna be
that's right.
Sorry to interrupt you. They have that, and then you also have the War Raiders and R-Truth versus R-Truth and Damian Priest.
That was that's for Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton is due back Friday, it says. Should be interesting how they're going to incorporate him into this at all, if at all. You know who they should put in this match? Soruka, the botched champion.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, she's a great wrestler, but she needs, I think, some more wrestling training.
Yeah, I mean,
So many of them.
yeah, I like her a lot. I think she had, when you look at the athleticism, the gymnastic type stuff, the things that she does from that point,
Yes.
Unbelievable. But to your point, she looked ready against NXT talent.
Right.
But she really wasn't. So I don't know. See, like what do you do? See, the problem you have is like, okay, so what do you do with her? Um, Julia would be interesting, but Lash Legend, man, because Lash would have beef with Charlotte because Charlotte beat up her friend. Lash would have beef with um what do you call it?
Tiffany.
No, she would have with Jade, right? Because Jade went ahead and messed up, Nia's chance and stuff like that. So I mean,
That's who I think wins that match is going to be Jay or Lash because Nia got taken out.
yeah. Well, I think I don't think mm,
I don't know if
I
that'll happen.
I don't see Lash Legend climbing the ladder. I mean that one is I don't know. But I'm sticking with. I think they give Tiffany a shot. I think that's what I think it's their opportunity to put a championship belt on her, and knowing that there is a time limit with it. Now I don't know what you do with it. I don't know what you do with her if she were to go ahead and win it, because you would have to go ahead and defend that belt.
Right.
So that's the only bad thing. Like, I don't know what if she wins. I don't know what you do with her. And then Tiffany Stratton. I mean, she could have people go after one of the two belts and stuff. So, but so what? I mean,
I mean, is it possible you have Charlotte win this match?
you could have Charlotte win, and I don't know. I mean, 15-time champion. I guess she would technically be. Um, I mean, it could happen. I mean, but it just makes me think no, because it's going to be something going on with her and Jade, and it wouldn't surprise me, But then again, you have whatever Jade's girls are called. What are they called? Like the Misfits, or
I
no, the
forget.
Baddies. I think they're called the Baddies. Like, I don't know, there's no disqualification in a ladder match,
Right.
so they could come down and take out Charlotte Flair.
That's true.
And who knows? So, like I said, to me, I'm going with Chelsea. I think it gives them an opportunity to go ahead and do something that they
Right.
probably right. Nia could come down also.
True. I mean, you got a point there. Chelsea is getting over with the crowd now, so you make her the interim. She goes up against Rhea when Rhea comes back and loses it.
Because you can see, like, the way she acts and everything, the way of getting out of having to have a title match.
Right.
From that standpoint. So I think it would be interesting to go ahead and have her. And then we close the show with the ones in the air.
There's no way Rollins is winning this.
I don't. The bad part about this is, quite honestly, the only thing you have for Rollins, if he loses, could be a Bronson Reed type of thing, because but he says the vision is in his past.
Right.
So Rollins went against Gunther. He's gone against Breaker. If he loses this, then what? I mean,
But you don't see him taking the title off of Roman right now, do you?
I don't know. Does Roman needing vacation? It's going to be very interesting, because supposedly, from what I read online, I think it was on X and stuff, and he and TKO are not having fun negotiating. TKO is not happy with his contract, from what I heard, from what I read. But if you have him lose, you kill the bloodline thing.
Right.
So it's, but then okay, if you have him win, he gets the I need my family to go ahead and no, they said Roman is on the schedule coming up. Okay.
Well, he's under a part-time lucrative agreement right now.
All right. He makes like $15 million a year. And their point is if we're paying you that much money, we need you around more.
Right.
From that standpoint. But I think
he says he's got about 1 or 2 more years of max of activity, wrestling wise.
Well, because he's still taking oral chemo for his leukemia.
Right.
And he said it's going to be something that's going to be a part of the rest of his life.
Right. Yes.
But I don't, like I said, you look at what Roman said, I have to go ahead and beat you. My family has to see me beat you. From that standpoint, everything there points towards a Roman. Seth Rollins, okay, if he doesn't. Oh, I didn't realize he was scheduled for Money in the Bank. Well, that's good. Seth Rollins. I don't know what, again, it's like, where do you go from here if you're him? What, are you going to go and challenge Trick Williams for the U.S. title?
Yeah, I don't.
You're going to challenge Chad Gable for IC? Or are you going back to, are you going back to SmackDown and you're going to try and get in over there?
No, we've seen a Rollins Punk match. We have not seen a Rollins Cody match, have we, for a title?
I know they had Hell in a Cell when Cody had that torn pec.
Right.
And I know Cody's first match when he came back was against Seth, but I don't think that was for a title. So no, I think.
Yeah.
Soul, Trick, Io, and Penta are all on the Money in the Bank poster for what it's worth. Okay.
Right. I mean, if the final boss comes back, or if he just comes back as Rock to try to set up something for WrestleMania with him and Roman.
But isn't this too far in advance?
Depending on how his schedule is and all that.
No, but what? How do you
keep it going till then?
Wouldn't you have to go ahead and keep some kind of momentum?
You would, yeah.
And you don't have a lot of events between now and the end of the year to do it. Other than, you could do it on Raw. You can do it on Monday Night Raw.
Right.
You could have The Rock show up, but overall, I don't know where I don't know what you do with them. How you get to that point.
And the only reason I say it is, if you've listened to the promos when they two have been together, Seth has been throwing a lot about him. He's like, he's calling himself the people's champ now. So, I mean, I don't know if it means anything, because it doesn't have to either, but. So I don't know. But
yeah,
I
think they've invested into the bloodline that Roman has to win.
Right. I agree.
I don't know where it goes after this.
For Rollins, I don't know. I mean, if they do plan on The Rock dead, maybe he comes out after that and challenges him. It's like, hey, next WrestleMania, title or no title, me and you. But then, like you said, what do you do with Rollins? Do you send Rollins over to SmackDown and try to go for one of those? Does he take a vacation?
He could potentially take a vacation.
Reed is due back, but does Reed come back as a Vision person? Maybe he changes his mind now that Paul Heyman's not there. I mean, there's all those ifs. But I mean, I don't see a Rollins Reed match, at least not anytime soon. But there's a lot of injured people that are coming back, so I mean, there could be setting up for something. I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
think
I don't think Roman loses this here.
to me, the way you can set up a Rock versus Roman is you do have Roman win this, and at some point in time towards the end of the year, you have Oba Femi destroy Roman,
I like
and The Rock is saying, "Hey, you're an embarrassment to the family, letting this young buck, this young ass punk,
beat your
come in
ass.
and do what he did to you and stuff like that." And that could set you up for
That would be a good setup.
Roman and Rock at
Mania for the head of the table.
at Mania, but you have to have Roman win.
If they do it for the head of the table, technically no.
No, you have to, because if you go ahead and you have him lose, and now you're saying that Rock is the head of the table. Well, then what does that do for Roman? What does Roman do then?
That's what he always does. Goes away for a while and then comes back later. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all different things, but yeah, for this match, it's definitely going to be Roman. I don't think he wins cleanly though. I think that's
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's so the whole bloodline thing of happening. So they come down, then the Solo come down. Let's say there's no turn there, right? And Solo is still okay with LA Knight and Royce Keys. Do they come down? The three of them come down. Then all of a sudden, do we see Solo, LA Knight, and Royce Keys come running down? And I mean, but then you make a mockery of the whole thing.
Well, now see, there's you got a point there. If they all six of those guys come down, like Bloodline tries to get involved, and these guys come down, or the other guys are fighting and say they're all on the ground except for Solo. Solo could get up and say spike Seth with Roman watching, and then he's basically turned, but he didn't turn on LA and Royce Keys.
He's true.
So that is a possibility there. I want to know, will we get John Cena to come out and give us some sort of update on his little thing going on? Because there has been nothing about that whatsoever.
Oh yeah. Well, why bother?
I mean, I'm wondering if they nixed the idea and just said, you know what, this isn't going to work. We got to come up with something else. Because I don't see how that
I mean, most people should have realized it wasn't going to work. From that standpoint, it wasn't. It really wasn't going to work. The whole idea behind it was stupid.
Yes.
We're going to let the fans. You don't have to go ahead and win the match. We're going to have the fans vote. Yeah, okay, there you go. That's a great way to hijack. No, why would the fans? If I was a fan, if I was voting, I would not vote for anybody who won.
Yeah, exactly.
I would vote for all the losers as much as I could. As many times as you're going to let me vote for the losers, I'm going to vote for the losers all the time.
I'll vote Dominic Mysterio every time.
Yeah.
I'm curious, anticipation of people coming back that have been out. There's a good chance for, I could see, like you said, Kevin Owens. You do have the possibility of Reed. If Randy does not come back on Friday like they show, I could see him showing up at some point during WrestleMania or SummerSlam. I don't know what for. Uh,
Well, if he was gonna show up, he'd show up during Punk and Cody.
that's the only thing I could think of there. I mean, I don't know where else he would show up. I mean, Rollins Reigns doesn't make sense. Six
Nope.
man doesn't make sense.
Nope.
I mean, he could show up during the Gunther Aldis match, but I really don't understand why. But other than that, that's what I was thinking, Logan. Why would he come back the night before SummerSlam? But that's what when I was reading everything I read, that he is planning on showing up. Maybe not to do much. I don't know. Those are the only people I can think of coming back. Because Rhea's not. Well, the only one that possibly women wise would be Jimmy's wife, Naomi. She's possibly could come back. I don't know what for and what capacity either.
Well, who has her title?
Wasn't that's the interim one right now, isn't it? I thought.
So Rhea.
Because Jade, I think, took it off of her, right?
No, she surrendered it.
Ooh, yeah.
She surrendered it on Monday Night Raw.
Let's see who won Naomi's.
It would have to be Rhea, right?
Or
I'm not sure. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's why. Yeah, they moved her over there so she could be a part. That's why she went. Yeah.
Well, they're showing. Was it Valkyra that won it? Valkyra faced Io Sky WrestlePalooza. Valkyra defeats Io Sky to win the women's world title. I don't know. Maybe I think it was Rhea though. That, like you said, took it over there, but would make sense. So she would come back. If she came back, does she interfere or take somebody out of the ladder match for the women and gets herself injected into it, possibly?
Not unless she showed. Well, not unless. No, I don't. I mean, I don't think that could happen.
I've done it before.
She can't just join it.
No, but if she takes somebody out, a lot of those GMs will be like, well, now you're in, get in there, type deal.
Yeah.
The only ones though that would make sense there for her would be Jade.
True.
I mean, I'd rather see Naomi than Jade in that match, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't think she's not. I don't think she's due back yet, though.
Well, she had the baby, right? I think she had a baby boy.
Let's see.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, all right. So, no, it's not gonna. Would not be her. No announced potential comeback. Timeline is late 2026 or early 2027 for her. So, yeah, she's definitely not there. Let's see. Who could potentially come back at SummerSlam? Let's see who they say here. Oh, okay, well. So they say Randy Orton, The Rock, heavily rumored for a blockbuster landscape shifting appearance following his prior Final Boss run. So there is that. And Valkyrie is due to be back around that time. And Owens and good old Drew McIntyre
Yeah.
are the ones due back. They're saying it could come back. And they're trying to do a shift with The Rock. When The Rock's not coming back as a Final Boss, it's going to see something else, and it'd have to be big. But like you said, this is so you're halfway through the year. You still got almost 3/4 of a year before you get to Mania where they'd have that match. That means The Rock would have to show up more than just once. It'd have to be a couple times.
Yeah, because you're talking 8 months.
You have to build that up big time to make it worthwhile.
You know, that's why I said unless you did something along the lines of you wouldn't need him that much if you know, Oba was to go ahead and, again, like, beat the crap out of, Roman to win the title, and Rock coming out and saying you're disgracing the family. You don't deserve to be the tribal chief. You don't deserve to be the head of the table. You lose to this, guy over here, blah, 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 blah. You can spin it that way, but, then again, are you just going to have a verbal spat type of thing? I mean, Rock's not, it's not like you could have The Rock do a run in. I mean, you can have him maybe attack him in the parking lot or something along those lines, but it's not like you're gonna have, Roman in the ring because you think he would have the bloodline with him and have, The Rock going ahead and walking down and jumping in the ring and beating all of them.
No. I mean, unless they don't have Roman and the Bloodline in a Survivor Series match, you could have Oba take him on there. I don't know. I mean, if Oba's in the men's Money in the Bank tournament,
he doesn't need it though because he already has he has 6 movies scheduled for the next 2 years. Sounds like he'll be too busy. The Rock has that much? Wow. I didn't realize he was doing that many movies anymore.
that doesn't mean he wouldn't make time.
Well, it'd be a one-off type thing because if it's one of those things where it's, hey, Rock, you're gonna fly to Saudi Arabia, Roman's gonna beat the crap out of you, so he establishes himself as I am the true tribal chief. I am the true head of the table. I don't know what it proves anymore. That's the problem you have. That and I still think probably people would much rather see Cody against The Rock than Roman against The Rock.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they. Because if the rumor is true that he's going to do a significant shift in what's going on, then it's going to have to be big. I mean, you wouldn't have anything else. You'd have to have it big. So you have to see.
Yep.
But I think you will see Kevin Owens. Well, I know some of these are already filmed. I know that.
Red Notice 2, Sandface 2, Fencer Wine movie, Big Trouble in Little China remake, and Jungle Cruise. Wow. Holy cow.
And he just finished what? The final Jumanji movie. They finished that. That's coming out in Christmas this year.
Yeah, because you think, like a lot of his movies lately have not been great.
No. I know them a while. Like Red Notice 2, if they keep the same cast with Ryan Reynolds and all them, okay, was good. San Andreas 2, I don't understand that. That makes no sense. The Fast and the Furious just needs to be done. And why are we remaking Big Trouble in Little China? No, it doesn't need to be made.
Right, yeah, most of them have been awful. That's what I'm saying. I mean, do we and you need Jungle Cruise too?
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, did Jungle Cruise do that great?
I don't think so. I mean, I know the Jumanji movies did good. The Fast and the Furious, but how many are you gonna do? I mean, 9,000 of them should have ended when what's his name passed away. But it is what it is.
Paul Walker.
Yeah, that's when that movie franchise should have just ended. So anyway, we shall see. I believe we will see KO and we will see Randy, but that's probably and maybe Valkyrie, maybe. Those would
I
be the
mean, yeah, you could. I mean, Valkyrie could go ahead and come in, and she could cost Liv to lose the title, and you can start at least that little war type thing again. But what are you doing with Roxanne? What does that mean for Judgment Day? I mean,
right.
you know,
Will they finally break that group up? Dear God,
I don't.
put them up against the Bloodline for in SummerSlam and what do you call it? Friggin' yeah, that'd be interesting to see. But yeah, I don't. I mean, possibly Drew, but I thought he was making another movie, unless he's done with it. But I don't know. Anyway, I don't think. I think it's going to be very lackluster. The SummerSlam. It's not going to be as big as they think. I mean, come on, tickets are starting at $25. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you had to have Jay. You had to have Justin Jefferson on numerous commercials talking about how the prices have been reduced.
Yep.
I mean, you think about it. This is your two biggest PLEs where you had to go ahead and advertise discounts.
Yeah.
You did at WrestleMania. Remember when Pat McAfee said for the next until midnight of this day,
Yeah. It were what 30.
Dodge is going ahead, or whoever the hell it was GM Dodge, whatever it was picking up the price, was covering was the ones who was offering the friggin' the sale. Really, they are. Oh, so
Yeah.
what? So if the tickets were $50, if we're getting 25, you want for every ticket that's bought. Dodge is giving you. I mean, come on, you know
Right.
you could have
Exactly.
60,000 and set it up for 31. Still beg to yeah. I think and that's.
Well, I was looking at their house show tickets because I remember back in the day they were like dirt cheap.
Oh yeah, because that's how.
Like I was looking, there's one down in there, two. I think there's two down in North Carolina there. I don't know how close they are to Mike, but I said, let me see how much tickets are. If you're on the ramp, you can get seats right along the ramp where you could, high five the people and all that. $467 a ticket to sit there in a house show. That ticket shouldn't be any more than $150. I was like, Mike, you can go there and you can get some autographs and
Well, if you go to these some of the small arenas, you catch them as they're coming in and stuff like that.
right.
That's what what's his name did.
I did that back in the
Ethan, right? Ethan would show that shit when they'd go to Kentucky and stuff, wherever
yeah,
he is, stuff like that kind of stuff. I mean, that's all fine and dandy and stuff. I mean, but I think back, when I was when I was just a young feller in high school between, the late 70s and the early 80s and everything, how you know, we went, and it was still, they were still kind of it was still regional, but we went every other month to the Nassau Coliseum and watched wrestling. My dad would take me, my buddy Sean, and my buddy Joe, and the four of us would jumping his little Datsun B210, and we'd drive over to the Nassau Coliseum and everything, and we'd get tickets, I don't know, $10, $12, whatever it may be, and stuff like that, and everything. And we'd be able to watch. We'd go. It was pretty much like every other month.
yeah.
You
I
know.
think that's the way I was. I'd go to them just like it's just fun to go to, and if they came to like for a big one, like a Monday Night Raw or something like that, that's where I would go. Maybe if I could afford it at that time, and maybe get on the floor, but I wasn't right next to the stage. Like the house shows, I could usually get right front seat, front row for $50, $60 at that time. But I'd always go early, stand out to where the wrestlers came in, and you could just about 90% of them would always come over, sign autographs, and it's a house show, so they're not like being rushed in.
Yep.
They are in the big shows.
Yeah.
You have your fair share of asshole wrestlers. There is. They're out there. And, you're not touching me. I don't want to sign your autograph, whatever. But
Well, I get it from a standpoint of it is. I think sports memorabilia has changed that. People thinking that really, you don't want my autograph because you're a fan. You want my autograph so you can go ahead and turn around and sell it.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is this is
unless
I'm going if I have a card or a postcard or something, a picture, and I get you to sign it, I mean, I'm still going to have to send it in to, if you had some thought process behind it, if you're the actual wrestler, you'd understand how that works, as saying that in today's day and age, if you write, hey, sign, if you put you put a listing out there and say signed in person, those signed in person ones, they don't sell the way you think they do, right? You have to send it to JSA. You'd have to get it certified, get it back, and hey, this is certified as this is a a real in-person autograph. This is not or I have a video of you signing that exact card and everything or whatever it may be. And at that point,
video pictures.
Unless you're there with a buddy and he's running his camera and you're the one handing the card, that's the only way it's going to, because most people aren't going to have their card in their hand and then have their phone to be able to hand it to you and go, here, just sign right over there. Thanks a lot. And okay. Hey,
and that'd be a dead giveaway that you were selling my shit.
Right.
I mean,
people are going to be like, who the fuck are you? Get out of here.
I usually did it with the t-shirts. I'd go and buy a t-shirt, put it on, and then have the silver pen to have them sign it. I don't know where any of those shirts are anymore, but
yeah,
I had them all. A bunch of different people signing it because I was like, why have an individual piece for each one? I'll just get one shirt. They can all sign. Whoever I can get to sign it, and then after I'm done, take it home and frame it if I decided to.
Yeah.
Never did that though. Just sat hanging in the closet.
Nope, yeah. I hear you.
But yeah, be interesting to watch this weekend. Now you said something about Sunday last week's stream, I think, didn't you?
What about
not going live on Sunday?
I was thinking about it. Yeah, if we were, if it was like a possibility of basically doing our show that night and doing a recap rather than waiting until sometime during the weekend doing it.
Up to you, brother. You let me know.
Yeah.
So keep an ear out, people. We'll put Mike, I'm sure, will put something out if we decide to do that, so people know.
Oh yeah, right after it ends or anything, bang,
boom, show up. We'll be
show
here.
up and everything. So, but hey, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. Thanks for everybody hanging out. Larkin, as always, thank you for the great, commentary, interaction, the questions, the comments, and everything.
We appreciate it.
You're our number one. You're our number one guy. You are fan of the year.
That's right.
And even with 5 months left in the year, you are fan of the year. No one's going to get by you.
No award. There's no money. There's no
a
pat on the back and a thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to change your name and say, ASTP, fan of the year.
Or if you would decide to come on here live with us. You don't even have to show your face. Just be on live with us.
Just that fancy logo.
Yep.
But thanks a lot, everybody. We will catch you later.
Peace.